In today's show, we discuss what could this be the evidence of?
And now, the TNT Talk Show, daring to go where other podcasts fear to tread.
Oh, I'm Tony Fasulo and I share the stage with my esteemed friend and colleague, Tayo Boya. Tayo, hello, my friend, once again. I hope you're keeping safe and well. And were you eating at the screen? I caught you. You tried to hide it. Sneaky snack.
Actually, all right, so I better own up to it. It's actually a toothpick.
Oh,
Or tooth floss thing. Anyway, hello, audience. Thank you for joining us. And hello to whoever it is in Kano.
Kano, where is that?
Oh, my goodness, Tony. Kano is a large city in northern Nigeria.
Oh, cool.
Not that far
Cool.
away from the town I spent a lot of my youth in Zaria. Not that far away. So it's
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
different
News
state.
travels. So
Yes,
people are hearing about you.
in Kano,
Oi.
Nigeria. So hello and
Maybe
welcome.
we should do a show in Nigeria. I'm happy to go.
You probably get kidnapped.
Why? Why?
Well,
'Cause
because kidnapping is a business now,
oh,
and they
really?
do they do target foreigners. So yeah, so
Oh, wow.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
maybe and northern Nigeria being the epicenter of the whole thing.
Oh,
So probably not
oh, okay.
for
We'll do
now.
it from
One day,
wherever we are. Yeah,
inshallah, as they
yeah.
say.
Okay, okay,
That's the saying Kano, funnily enough, inshallah, which means
okay.
God
Brilliant,
willing
brilliant.
in Arabic. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So factoid, no factoid for you today, but I'm going to do something.
Oh, something else. You're changing the.
No, 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 just this one off
Okay.
because I want to show off. You see, I want to
Oh,
show off and in future. Now, President, today is we're recording this. You'll be listening to it on a Saturday. If you we publish on Saturdays.
yeah.
We record
Record in the
earlier
week. Yeah, yeah.
during the week. And heads up, today is actually Thursday, the 14th of August. And tomorrow, President Vladimir Putin will be, in my opinion, foolishly, insanely traveling to Alaska to talk to Donald Trump. First of all, there's no point anybody talking to Donald Trump because his agreements last for as long as his whims do, which seems to change with the cycle of his wife if she is not yet menopausal. And I'm saying that is actually even more frequently because I don't think anyway. So
Don't say
he's
that.
I've just said it and I don't care. So he's got the attention span of a goldfish that has attention span problems. In other words, it's a
This
complete and
is
utter
not a
waste of
show
time.
about dig at Donald Trump. It's supposed to be something else.
So I'm saying that going to speak to Donald Trump for any reason is already a waste of time. But to actually travel to America is insane, given that there is good evidence that the Americans have a way of triggering a ferociously aggressive cancer and they kill the people that they don't like. So everybody who knows them keeps them at an arm's length. Nobody goes to America to talk to the Americans, except Vladimir Putin, who seems to have this Russian mindset. This woe is me. Oh, my life is full of suffering. I mean, they put themselves into difficult situations and then bemoan their fate. So I am saying all this because today's the Thursday, the 14th of August, and 4 months hence will be the 14th of December, and which is a Sunday, it seems. And on Sunday, the 14th of December, I will either record a show and say I was wrong and I apologize to President Vladimir Putin, or he'll be on his way to Valhalla, no, Valhalla, where he's a Orthodox Christian. He'll be on his way into the afterlife via a super aggressive cancer. And I'll be like, duh, because I'm very unsympathetic when people are virtue signaling, because going to America to talk to the Americans is virtue signaling. He himself agreed that he was fooled by President Merkel, no, sorry, Chancellor Merkel, President Hollande, and President Poroshenko. He said the three of them looked him in the eye and lied to me. and yet he's still going to go and talk to Trump. So it's virtue signaling, it's performative, it's nonsensical. Russia is winning on the battlefield. Why is anybody discussing anything? Just keep winning and destroy Ukraine. End of story. It's simple.
Okay.
There we are.
It ran over.
Hmm?
We could have done that segment for a different show. You should have just done it as a separate segment, and we may still do that. I may have to edit it out, and you just do it as a standalone little rant. I think it's worth its while rather than being in this show because this is a friendly, cuddly show. This
No, it can
one.
be afterwards, but because it's going tomorrow and it needs to be boom there.
Okay.
So I mean, I can't control what you edit in and edit out. I mean, that's up to you. But I think it should be left in. There may be, but I don't know what part you. I'm really fed up with this. Okay, you're gonna get me. You're putting me on the wrong thing because this is one of my beefs. Everybody is so. It's very bad for society that we no longer have muscular language and muscular attitudes. It is really bad. You are contributing to that. I'm not.
You're
I'm not part of the
thinking you're
problem.
thinking that muscular attitudes bring bring peace around the world, but
No,
all
they
it brings
don't.
what?
It brings clarity. It doesn't bring peace. I
Oh,
just want to know where you really stand. I want to know who you really are, and then we will deal with the consequences. But when we're
yes.
all pussyfooting around, pretending to be one thing, but actually we're another, that brings chaos. Look at the world today. There's more chaos today than when there was muscular language. I am right.
That's not true.
Who told you that?
Not
Who
true.
told you
What
that?
nonsense.
What nonsense? Who
What
who is who is
okay,
who is
muscular
starving?
language,
Who is
right?
starving people to death for free? Tell me in
Okay.
the 60s.
That's muscular. Look at that. What's happening today? And
Yeah,
that's
and
because
our
of
reaction
muscular
is what? And what's
attitudes.
our reaction? Our reaction is to step back from it. Oh my gosh! What do we do? Back in the old days, they'd have bombed the crap out of the people who were doing that. That's what we'd have done.
It's because they're backed by the guy with the biggest bomb.
The
That's
guy with the
why.
biggest, they don't have the biggest bomb. Russia has the biggest bomb,
Yeah,
actually. So and
doesn't
China
matter who
now
has
this
the
got the
biggest.
fastest, has the
It
fastest
doesn't
bombs.
matter. Okay, we're going to end up ruining the show. This has to be taken out, and we'll start
Well, the
again.
other part of it, when you told me to like calm down, you're telling Ty to calm down. It's like when my wife and I were traveling to Nigeria recently, and at Gatwick Airport, there was this rather fractious. I don't know. I think she was supposed to be a service person. She was supposed to be, but her attitude was extremely not service-like. And because my wife held a bottle of water, she was telling my wife, "Get rid of the bottle of water." And my wife says, "No, I've traveled a lot, man. It's okay. I'll deal with it. Just leave it. I will deal with it. Yes, you've told us get rid of the bottle of water. Leave it. Don't worry about it." And one was like, "Yeah, wait, wait." And my wife said, "Calm down." And then I just started giggling. You tell a woman who's left left the farm, she's falling out of a tree. You tell her to calm down. She's gonna lose a freaking rag, and she did. And and then I started laughing with the other service people, saying, "Who tells a woman to calm down when she's having a rant?" It's
Well,
like you. Who tells Tyler to calm down? And he's
well,
gone off on one,
hold
and
on,
then you're
hold
like,
on,
and
hold
then you're
on.
like,
You just
calm down.
contradicted what you said. You're not female. I can tell you to calm down. Unless you, unless you're telling me something I shouldn't, I wasn't
I
privy
hate
to.
it when you point out rational things like that. It doesn't help at all. Just because you're right doesn't mean you should be right. Okay, let's jog on. Just let's jog on. It's no point just going around pointing out the contradictions in what I say. What the hell, man? I don't do that to you. Good lord. We're going to have a chat about all this later, Tony.
This is our show, folks.
Huh?
TNT talk show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is it right? Should he have done that? Write in and tell me. I mean, how can you just run around saying, Ty, just contradicted yourself? I mean, come on, man.
anyway, on with today's show. And today we've got a topic which again is one I've picked it, but it's from Tayo's list. Would you believe that? I had to go to Tayo's list. And this is one that's entitled, What Could This Be Evidence of? And we're going to discuss this and see what you, our wonderful listeners and viewers, think of this topic. So the evidence will present what is this leading to? That's basically what the show is about. So, Taya, you wanted to pick this. Do you want to sum up what evidence are you talking about that we're going to touch on here?
Well, is it evidence? If you say it's evidence, you've already introduced what is it that says in law? When you're in court, what have you done? you have already, I don't know what it's called, Tony. Do you know when you ask a question, but you've already, have you stopped beating your wife? You know that type of question.
Yeah, I do know
There's
that
something wrong with
question.
it. What's it
Yeah.
called? What there's an actual
Well, you're
concept.
leading the
Leading.
answer.
Thank you, thank you,
You're
thank you.
leading the
No, you got
answer
it right. No, no,
particularly.
no, you got it right. You've already started with a very leading with a leading opening. You're calling it evidence. We don't know that it's evidence. It's a happenstance. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Is it evidence of something? And if it is evidence, what is it evidence of? So what am I talking about? Okay, so there's a remarkable story which involves two minor league pitchers. Now, a pitcher is somebody who chucks a ball at somebody with a bat in the American game of baseball. So the guy that
Okay.
throws the ball is a pitcher, Pitcher. He's pitching, I guess, the ball, I suppose. And it involves two minor league pitchers, both named Brady Feigl. So two pitchers, same city, both named Brady Feigl. Ah, okay, well, all right. Number one, they weren't even aware of each other in the same league, I suppose. Unless there are multiple minor leagues, I don't know.
There are multiple minor
There are,
leagues.
but in the same city?
If the city's big enough, yes.
Oh, all right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So both men were 6 foot 4 inches tall. Both were red haired. Both were bushy beard. Both wore thick glasses. And of course, as I've said, they were both called Brady Feigl. The main difference is that one was 5 years older than the other. So in 2015, both Brady Feigls needed something called a Tommy John surgery, which is
On the elbow.
a reconstructive procedure on the ulnar collateral ligament. Ha!
It's on the
In the
elbow, isn't it?
as Tony says, has been trying to get this in for quite a while now. Tony has been elbowing his way in. You see what I did there? See, get it? As, and one underwent it with, get this, the same renowned surgeon, Dr. James Andrews. So both of these men went to the same surgery for the same reconstructive procedure. The receptionist, office staff were completely bewildered when one Brady Feigl showed up for a consultation for a follow-up on what they thought was a repaired, what did you call it? A yada yada ulnar collateral ligament.
Yeah.
And obviously it was like, yeah, but you've already answered. No, I want to do my operation. No, you've already done it. What are you talking about? You already had the operation. You went, no, I haven't. And all that took some time for them to work out that, hang on a second, there are two of you. What the
Yeah.
heck is going on? There were two of them. Now, in a world full of coincidences, and there have been some coincidences that I'll bring up, this one is pretty out there. Why why would there be a situation quite like this? It could be nothing. I mean, let's face facts. It could be absolutely nothing. Or it could be what we nowadays call a glitch in the matrix. And a glitch in the matrix is somehow more satisfying than just a completely random situation,
Coincidence.
coincidence. So emotionally, a glitch in the matrix, something to do with the simulation or the virtual world reality in which we are. But that won't sit comfortably with people who are religious.
No.
And they would think, well, no. Therefore, even if you are religious, and I see no reason why you shouldn't be, to be honest, could it be? There's this interesting concept in Islam, and it's called signs of Allah, right? That Allah's creation contains signs to guide the righteous. I believe that's how they put it. Could this be a sign for the righteous? Could it be telling you that, well, it can't, You should think more deeply about the world in which you live. Do you see?
Well, okay. Let's go
Over to
back
you.
to these two guys. If
Oh,
I
one
know the
last thing. One last
story,
thing.
yeah, go on.
The DNA test result, because everybody was like, "Are you?
They must
Maybe
be related, yeah.
maybe your father played out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean,
Because
bro?
they look the same, didn't they?
They look, they
They
look,
look the same, look like
they look the
twins.
same.
Yeah,
Actually, we should probably put up a picture. Anyway, so both were 53% Germanic ancestry, but they were not related. So there we go.
that was a really weird situation. Yeah. Whether that should be a religious thing, that's a big leap in terms of is this a sign? What could be a sign? It could be anything. I mean, that just because two guys happen to be similar is really, yeah,
But we're
no, I'm
talking
not
about it though.
we are talking about it, but
No,
doesn't
that's a
make it
sign. That's a sign in itself.
okay.
You're talking about it.
I mean, let me give you an interesting bit of information that you may not be privy to.
Okay.
Your fingerprint and everybody's fingerprint. Did you know that the fingerprint isn't unique? There is a 1 in 70 million chance.
That's not that much.
I know. 1 in 70 million that someone has the same fingerprint as you. So if you happen to have
So
a
I can
phone,
go and kill him.
so if you
Not him, the
happen
guy
to,
with my fingerprints.
if
Him,
you,
obviously, if my fingerprints are all over it. He's like, what makes you think they're mine?
and the security people are aware of this. They're fully aware of this. So it's a limitation of the fingerprint. So now they've introduced retina scans,
Ah,
and they subsequently discovered that 1 in 150 million
oh
has
wow.
the same retina scan. So that means it's better than the fingerprint, which is 1 in 70 million, but it's double the chance of you finding someone who has the exact same retina scan as you. So some bright spark has come up with the idea of mixing the two together.
Mm.
Indeed. Think, go on.
So I've done the sums, and
Yeah.
apparently, in a world of 8 billion people, there
Yeah.
are 115 people walking around with your fingerprints
Yes.
for each of us. 115.
115. But the likelihood of them being in the same place is very small. So the chances of you crossing paths is very, very unlikely.
Oh, you
But
mean
that
like the two Brady Weigels?
Well,
Is that what you mean?
that's again a coincidence, isn't
Same
it?
same surgery. So
Well,
if one of those office workers had been knocked off by somebody that said was a Brady Weigel, guess what? It could have been the other one.
it could, yes, absolutely. There are situations that even recently, there was a guy let out of prison having served 17 years when his doppelganger had
I remember
committed the
the story.
crime. Yeah, his
He was in
doppelganger.
prison. I
Yeah.
remember the story so well. He was in prison and somebody came and said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, what do you want am I doing?" I said, "Well, no, I think he said, how did you get here?" And he said, "What do you mean, how did I get here?" He goes, "Well, you were just doing this in the gym." And the guy was like, "No, I
I
wasn't." I said,
wasn't.
"Yeah,
I'm
what are you
here.
talking about? You were in the gym." I said, "What?" And then somebody else said, "You've already taken your meal." And he said, "I haven't taken." He said, "Yeah, you've already taken your meal." So anyway, I think another person, I don't know how they got the idea. Let's go check this out. And they did, and there was this other guy sitting there who looked his carbon
Copy.
copy. And it turned out that this other guy who had gone and committed yet another blooming crime had
Yeah.
been the one who originally, I think, was what they call a gas station, which is a petrol station
Mm.
robbery
Yeah.
originally. And this poor guy had gone to prison for donkeys years,
Yeah. And he
and there was
hadn't
this
done
other
it.
clown.
Yeah. Who looked like him. And they, at the time, showed photo evidence slightly from a distance.
Mm,
And it looked like him. And the jury went, it's him.
hmm
Same goatee beard, same haircut, same dreadlocks in the way it was plaited, same build. It was like, no, that's him. And he was like, no, that's not me. I got, well, video evidence says it is you. You're the one going in. And it wasn't him. It wasn't him, which is crazy, which is crazy. I've got one if you want
Which
me to
is
share.
why, well, ladies, sorry, not ladies. This is why, yeah, ladies do it too. Which is why, gentlemen, if she ever walks in on you, you can absolutely do like Shaggy said and say it wasn't me. Just stick to the. Just keep it. Just be. It wasn't me. Have you watched the TNT show or listened to the TNT show when they went into all this stuff? There must be somebody else who's my doppelganger and has my fingerprints. So no, stop that. I love you.
There's marital advice from the one time boy.
Well, that's not quite marital. I'm not saying go and do it.
Oh
Go and do it would
dear.
be marital advice. Don't do it. No, I'm saying don't do it.
Don't
But
do
if
it. Don't do it. If you
it
did.
wasn't you, it wasn't you, was it? It really wasn't me.
Oh,
Go
right.
on.
Let
Sorry,
me.
I jumped into. What were we going to
You
say?
did. I've got one I would like to share, if that's all right with you, of course.
With Brady Figo. Yes,
No,
go on.
no. Similar. There are two twin brothers, John
Hmm.
and Arthur Moforth. They died within hours of each other.
Hmm.
The strange part is they both were hit by cars whilst on their mopeds. They were both hit by cars on the same road, and they were both taken to the same hospital by two different ambulances. And even more bizarrely, neither knew that the other one was there.
Oh, at the hospital.
Yes.
At the hospital, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, they died within hours of each other from the
Oh,
injuries sustained from the car hitting them on the same road at two different parts of the road on their respective mopeds. Both got hit by cars, both got taken to the same hospital, both were one unaware that either brother had also ended up in hospital in the same hospital, but unfortunately they both passed away from their injuries. Now, the crazy thing, the town that they lived in was called Twinsburg, Ohio, and they were twins. And strangely enough, that town, because of its name, hosts the world's largest annual gathering of twins.
wow.
How strange is that? So, again, that's a really bizarre story where twins come to their demise. I mean, it must have been awful for the family because but losing the twins from a similar accident, they must have had questions. Was it the same? Were they on the moped together? No, they were on two
Mm.
separate mopeds. On the same road? Yep, but at two different parts of the same road, which is bizarre in itself. But both dying from car accidents. Wow, that's ridiculous.
It's
What?
almost like Violet Jessup. Well, not
Yes, Violet Jessup. I know this story as well. Go on, you can tell.
Violet Jessup was somebody you absolutely 100% did not want to travel with. Because although she survived the Titanic disaster and the Britannic disaster and the Olympic collision, all the while as a stewardess, many other people did not. So you need to learn about people like this. And if you ever have a Violet Jessup, say airline stewardess, and you know the equivalent, and you go on and someone says, "Hey, Violet," you go, "Sorry, is your surname Jessup by any chance?" And you go, "Yeah." You just
Get
let me
off.
out. I'm out of here. Yeah. So yeah, she
She'll
survived
survive, but maybe
three,
no one else. I know.
three blooming disasters,
Sinkings,
sheer
yeah.
sinkings.
Yeah. I
Amazing.
think the first one was in 1911 on the RMS Olympic,
Hmm.
collided with a warship and that sank. And a year later, she was, as Taya has rightly said, on the Titanic and was one of the survivors. And then she was working on the HMS Britannic, and that sank in 1916. So you're talking,
So you said of Britannic twice.
did I say Britannic
You said
twice?
the 1911 one was Britannic.
Oh
That
no,
must have been the
1911
Olympic
was the
because you said
Olympic. The
you said
Olympic.
collision.
Yes, my
Okay.
apologies. Yeah, Olympic
Hmm.
was in 1911. So in the space of 6 years, she's
Wow.
been on three ships that
I mean, she's
sank.
a bit of a trooper for getting back on the ship.
Oh, I know.
Because I
I
wouldn't.
know. No,
You survived the what was the first one was Olympic. You think, yeah,
Olympic.
okay. When you survive the Titanic, I mean, that really ought to be it. Just be
Yeah,
like, you know what?
I say I'm not going on a ship
A
again.
couple of pot shots now, and
I've survived it. But then doing it again, and it's such a short period of time, really.
well,
4 years
and
later, she's on.
who kept who, the I mean, I don't suppose they had an HR department in those days. Because an HR department would be like, yeah, do you know something? Val, we think sure, some time on shore would be good for everybody.
I mean, I'm not sure her nickname should have been really appropriate because her nickname was Miss Unsinkable. But that's clearly not what was happening because she was on every ship that did sink.
I mean, see, yeah,
I
Miss
know we're
Unsinkable.
laughing, but it's a tragic story, really. But good for her that she survived. But how crazy is this that
And I
she
suppose
actually was on three
without
boats?
modern techniques, which may actually be doing more harm than good, we can have a show about that actually. Modern techniques of therapy. I wonder what kind of horrible survivor's guilt she suffered from. She may have suffered from. Or was she just a trooper back in those days? People were just like, hey, I'm lucky. God loves me. Let's jog on.
Well, we don't know. We don't know
Mm,
because this is
mm.
quite a while ago. I dare say she's actually not here now.
Oh, I
It
wouldn't
was,
think, imagine
yeah.
she's still with us.
Do you know on another story here? Do
Still
you know
with
about
us.
the Lincoln Kennedy connection?
I do, but such a long one. I mean, so many things.
It's bonkers.
Well, it is, but there's so many things. Did we not talk about it in one of our early shows?
I
Anyway,
don't think we did.
okay. So when we spoke about, I think we did. When we spoke about Nostradamus, I think we mentioned it because
He predicted things, didn't he?
yes, yes. Anyway, so before you do the Lincoln
Kennedy one.
Kennedy one, there was a gentleman called. He's a bit like Violet Jessup. That's a little bit though. Tatsumo Yamaguchi. Tsutomu. Hang on. Tsutomu. There we go. Sorry. Tsutomu Yamaguchi.
We could have a
He
whole
survived.
show with Tyre trying to pronounce that name.
Well, I'm not Japanese, so give me a break, man. Tsutomu. Yeah, that's all right. Tsutomu.
Okay.
Hey, Tsutomu. Tsutomu
Okay.
Yamaguchi. Hey, when I do
There
the
you
accent, it's
go.
perfect. I just have
Very
to do the
good.
accent. He survived both Hiroshima and
What?
Nagasaki
What?
atomic bombings. So he was in Hiroshima, and then he was evacuated to Nagasaki, and that was nuked too.
No.
And he survived.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty well.
That's
I mean, that's
incredible.
that's good. That's
Goodness me.
mm,
That's incredible, that one. Right, I've got one. This is the one I was just touching on. Lincoln
mm.
Kennedy connection. This is a bit odd. Now, it's very strange and random, but let me just read it through and see what you think of this. Now, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John F. Kennedy was elected in 1946, so exactly 100 years apart. Now, Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John F. Kennedy was elected president in 1960, again 100 years apart. Both presidents were shot on a Friday and shot in the head. Coincidence? Lincoln's secretary, Abraham Lincoln's secretary, was named Kennedy, and she told him not to go to the theatre for whatever reason. John F. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln, and she told him not to go to Dallas. And the crazy thing, both presidents were succeeded by a man named Johnson. In Lincoln's case, Andrew Johnson, who happened to be born in 1808. And in Kennedy's case, Lyndon Johnson, who was born in 1908. So, what weird coincidences and connection between those two presidents, which is bizarre.
You didn't even read out the full list. It was longer than
No,
that.
I summarized it because it was
Okay, well
more.
done for summary. Yeah, and there were even more. You see, at this point, you've got to think.
What's
All
going
right,
on here?
there is something going on here. Look, it's not a coincidence type thing, but we did speak about it once upon a time. When people die, they fold their arms. Remember? In
Yes,
some
that's called the
situations.
Lazarus effect. And it's really strange. If you miss the episode, obviously I'm going to plug it and say go back and listen to that episode because it was
Mm.
quite an interesting one. But just to summarize, what happens, some people have an involuntary spasm when they pass away, and a lot of people in the morgues and places like that, they're fully aware that this happens, where someone could be lying on the table, about to be put in the right location, and they have an involuntary movement of their hands which raise up and then lie
Can you imagine?
across your chest. Now, a lot of
Their
newbies,
chest.
their chest, sorry, a lot of people, it doesn't happen all the time, but it
No.
happens enough for them to actually inform their staff, especially newbies, that some people, after they've deceased, will do that. And it's an involuntary reflex. Why it always crosses on the chest, they don't know. Science doesn't know. But that is a bizarre occurrence that seems to happen more often than it should. Really strange.
And I would argue that it is another sign. And if you don't cross your arms when you die, we
What
know
does
where
that
you're
mean?
going. So I have instructed my darling wife, who I expect and hopefully will outlive me. If it doesn't happen naturally, just cross my arms for me, baby. Maybe I can fool, upstairs and get in that way, sidle in through a side door or something. Arms across, man. Arms across.
It is unusual. So there's more things at play here, certainly, because why? Well, that in
The entire
itself,
world is weird.
it is weird. There's so many
But is it
things
weird
that
like
make
the
sense.
scientists, the materialists say that in a universe of such a large universe and so many events happening every single moment of every single day for hundreds, millions of years, coincidences are bound to happen. I mean, just statistically, they'll happen.
That you are correct. You are correct because there's a confirmation bias as well, isn't there?
Hmm. Right.
Because you, if many events happen, you look for you're cherry picking. You look for the things that occur that match something weird. Oh, I heard that. That's
Hmm.
weird.
Hmm.
But there's millions, if not billions, of things that go on that are missed, are unnoticed, or there's no coincidence at all. So you're probably right. Of the
Well,
many, many things, it could be down to just sheer coincidence. For
it's it's like that horse. That horse. This was something I think my dad shared with me. It was called Lucky Number Six.
okay,
And on the 6th of June, 1966, 6th of June, 1966, yeah, 6th of June, 1966, when my dad would have been, it was my dad then, and he would have, I don't know, maybe old enough to gamble, is what I'm trying to say, because he
okay,
was obviously, and he thought, he put £6, which is a lot of money in 1966, believe it or not. He put
mhm,
£6 on lucky number six, which was running in the sixth race. And a lot
okay.
of people
Put
thought
money
the
on
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
The horse came sixth.
Okay.
So
The irony.
is that a coincidence or was that just obvious, man? Why did you think
Why
it would
would
come?
it win? It
Why would
wouldn't
it
have
come
to come six.
first? It
Yeah.
was bloody sixes, man. Think it through. Or
The-
was it a major coincidence in the sixth race? Game six, you know. So take it any way you want. In a world full of coincidences, that one is one of those. What's the point? What point are you trying to make? And then a voice comes from heaven saying, "It is a sign, my son."
I mean, yeah, coincidences do happen though. I mean, we've seen many coincidences in some of the shows. Like the famous one, the South Park show. That's had a number of like
Of
predictions
hits.
almost.
Well, so
Yeah.
is the Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, you said
It's
South Park.
well, South Park and Simpsons as well. South Park has had a few. I mean, South Park, yeah, South Park did one about a Brokeback Mountain joke.
Oh.
Strangely, yeah. This was in 1998. They did a joke,
Mind
and
you,
then
the producers or the writers of South Park, they are, like that.
what's that mean? They're
You
gay?
know. Sorry?
They're gay or weird?
No, no, no.
They're
The
gay.
first one.
They're gay.
I don't you
right?
keep harping on about it. I'm just trying to
Okay,
say they would
and
write
does
one
it?
about
Yeah,
the Brokeback
okay.
Mountain.
But the
So
fact
it's not
that
much of a coincidence, is it? I
well,
mean,
it's not. It was because they were actually in the show. They spoke about gay cowboys,
they've
and
always been. It's not news. Was it news to you? Didn't you know that they
no, but
were?
they did a show and they actually did a film about it after. But and it
What
won awards,
the
didn't it? It did.
not the South? Now you're confusing me and everybody else. Are you
The
saying the South
Brokeback
Park?
Mountain film
All
came
right, it
out
wasn't the
much
South Park people
later.
who did it.
It was the South Park people.
They made
Who,
the Brokeback Mountain film.
no, 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 no. They made a joke about it
Hmm.
in the series, and
And
then
and
several
then
years
a film
later,
was made.
the film was made. Now, did
Yeah.
the viewers, as the thing is, did the Oscar-winning film producers actually see that episode of South Park and think, "Oh,
Probably
what a great
same
idea"?
gang, so to speak.
Yeah, did
Hmm.
they? We don't know, but we
Yeah, but
don't
I don't know.
believe
But
that was the case.
I'd write that down as one of those things. It was things like, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Better examples come from I think in Star
Simpsons,
Trek.
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek, yes, foresaw a lot of things we use now.
Oh
The
yes,
electronic charts at
absolutely.
the bottom of a patient's table,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
bed, sorry, not table, bed, table, a patient's bed, and communicators and things like that. It was all in Star Trek in the 60s.
Indeed, indeed.
Um,
People must have seen it and thought, what a great idea. That's something that we could make for the future. So they were inspired by
they
it.
were inspired. Yeah, do you know what? It's not a coincidence. I think, isn't that strange? I never thought of that. It's such a simple resolution. People saw it and thought that's a great idea.
Yeah,
So it
they
was
were
the case of art
inspired.
of life imitating art.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
So
I
nothing to
mean,
see there. Jog on.
the, the
No,
fact,
seriously. No,
well,
seriously.
it's true.
It's
It's not
solved.
in
And
that
then
example.
yeah,
Although the classic one in The Simpsons, which was important, was Donald Trump's presidency.
yeah, yeah. Well, no one saw that coming. I promise
No,
you.
no, no. They made a in year 2000, I think,
Mhm.
and it was supposed to be Bart to the future, and showed Lisa becoming president after a disastrous Trump presidency. So Lisa Simpson became the president after Trump's presidency. So they predicted that he would be president, and
I seriously suggest anybody named Lisa Simpson, and there must be many in America. Let's face it.
yeah,
I seriously suggest anyone named Lisa should get into politics now,
yeah, absolutely. That
because
show.
America is such a weird nation of weird voters that it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Hmm.
Seriously, people would say, "Well, as a lark, this time I've voted seriously all my life, and it got me Trump. This time, I'm just going to joke. Just going to it's a throwaway vote. Nothing will happen, and then everybody votes for Lisa Simpson, and she becomes the blooming president. So I would strongly suggest somebody run for president. There's someone named Lisa
Called
Simpson.
Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
If not just
Hey,
Lisa, yeah.
here's something for you, because
Go
this
on.
is a genuine, huh?
Yeah.
Do you remember a comic? What in America they call a comic strip? What we call here is it a cartoon? A
Yeah, just a
cartoon,
cartoon
a
comic strip,
cartoon,
still the
a
same,
comic.
yeah.
We call it a comic, right?
Yeah,
No strip. Do you remember a comic called Dennis the Menace?
absolutely.
You realize that there were two Dennis the Menaces,
Two.
one in the United Kingdom and one in America, and they were both launched on exactly the same day in 1961, independently.
Really?
Independently,
They weren't linked to each other in any way.
not in any way.
Wow. How strange. Now that is a weird
That
coincidence,
is really peculiar.
especially getting into the, into a
A niche
newspaper or
market. There's a
whatever. Yeah,
niche
yeah,
market
exactly.
like that. So why?
Wow. That really is weird. Okay. Now, I mean, we haven't really touched on actually deja vu itself. We've looked at coincidences, and there are many, and there are some head scratchers out there. I mean, we can touch on a couple of others, but I mean, again, Simpsons, there was one that really stood out was the Higgs boson one. I don't know if you know about this one. This is in 1998. Homer Simpson was trying to be a budding inventor, and he wrote this complex equation on a chalkboard behind him in 1998. And science subsequently later pointed out that that equation, when worked out, predicts the mass of the Higgs boson particle with
Who wrote the
quite
equation?
high accuracy. We don't know.
Well,
We
that's the
don't know.
question to ask. Because if they got their friend from MIT to give them a reasonable looking equation, that could be it.
Yeah. But it
They
was
could have
only
been working on it.
14 years later that the Higgs boson was actually detected.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just
that,
want to know who wrote it, though. That's what
yeah,
I'm trying to
that's what
say.
we need to know. But that's very, because obviously they would have, to put a equation on there, it wouldn't just be made out of the air,
Well,
would it?
most
Someone
of
would
us
have.
who write stories and things would have used a made up equation, nonsensical equation.
Yeah.
Because most of us are not OCD people who are actually going to sit down and go, "Oh, did you see that in The Simpsons? Let's write it down and figure out if it means anything." I mean, that's fine. You know, who does that? The people who
Some,
make millions of
honestly,
dollars from making from creating movies. That's
there
who.
are some people out there who would do it. They would pull them up on it as well and spend the time. They've done that. You've seen it with films where once even a snippet comes out, then there's a whole group of people who analyze every second of the snippet to
Mm,
see what they can discover from it. So there are people out there who are really, well, they should be in science. Let's be that way. They are meticulous, they are detailed, they are the word that we use in the UK, they're very anal. They really go, not in that term. I know I've said it, but it means something different in the UK when you say it that way. It means they are finicky. They literally want the answer and they'll go to nth degree when most people have given up. They will persist until they've got their answer. And they're great people for persistence. They get things
fantastic. I
done.
follow a couple on YouTube because when they analyze and film, you're like, how did you even notice that?
Yeah,
Why were you looking there even?
I know.
The corner of a table in, that's slightly off center of screen. It's like, why were you interested? Do you know something? That was the same table that was used in, but you think, well,
I know. What?
okay.
How do they notice that? Yeah, the same mark, same tape. It's like, goodness me. It's like that's all they do. Do they have too much time on their hands? Well, if it's
Well,
a
thank goodness.
if
Thank goodness for them because they make the world more interesting that way.
well, they do because they're the ones that provide the detail where everyone misses it,
Hmm.
and
By
they
the way, I need to
enlighten
correct
everyone else.
myself.
Go on.
Sorry, good finish.
No, no, that's it.
I have to correct myself. It was the both launched not in 1961, in 1951. I beg your pardon.
Okay, Dennis the Menace.
1951.
Before any of our our listeners and viewers say, "Oh, it was
Antonio
1951,
has
not
just called you
61."
anal, by the way. So there you go. I never did, by the way.
No, no, no.
And
But yeah,
yet
that's
I'm
what
the one that's
someone
been
would
told
do.
to calm down. Really? Okay. The Jim twins
The Jim twins. No, I don't know this one.
separated at birth, reunited in adulthood, and found that lived near identical lives, down to wives' names, children's names, choice of careers, and even the names of their dogs.
See, now that's really unusual, isn't it? Because what, why, why are these memories or these ideas? So that it almost implies that the twins were identical twins are separated. They had shared thoughts and memories. So either it was a computer program that they both got a copy of in this simulated world, they're an NPC, or they thought of it together because they've got some link, and that was something they both subconsciously weren't aware of it, agreed upon. So they were sharing a single consciousness, and that even though they're two individuals that were split, the consciousness could be shared. So many ideas could have been used on both, which clearly seems to be the case, which is very, very strange and throws up a whole host of other questions that if our consciousness is linked outside of this realm of what we experience, then if there are twins, are you are you now playing both parts, unaware that you're playing both parts, but you are, because we're in this simulation. And to make it exciting for our consciousness, which lives outside, it's not severed, but it's forgetting the outside. That's why when our life ends and our physical body dies, we come out back outside this simulation, if you want to use it that term, and we're aware that we were playing the game. And now we have to play another character in the game. And you come back again. And there was a famous poem. I think I shared it with you, and I need to remember where it was. It was called The Egg. That's it. And it was by the author of the film The Martian. And he says in the poem, which is quite a powerful poem, it's it's implying that we individuals are actually the same individual in every person on the planet. We are actually one entity, but we are fledgling, and we have to inhabit every body that's ever been in the history of humans in order to be be seen to be a spirit worthy of name. So we are apparently some incredible being outside of this realm, but we are actually in every single living human on this planet and who's ever lived before, just so we experience living in this body and human like
It's
state.
it's an idea of the evolution of the soul. It's an idea of an evolving soul that's that starts off and is brutal and is crude and is primitive. It inhabits all these bodies, as you say. But where it is fair, FAIR, and equitable, is that God made it so that the harm that is being done to the self.
Yes.
So when you whip a slave, you are the slave and you are the master, and as many blows as you give are the blows that you receive. And over a period of time, there's a slow evolution in which the soul comes to realize that's not actually a good plan because it's very painful. And the soul evolves and moves towards a situation where eventually it understands that peace and harmony are the only true way to live. And then it can move to realms where it has even more power. Because to give someone, like, for example, a lot of power would be a bad idea. Right now, as you can tell, I get a bit tetchy from time to time. I kill them all, man. I'll be like the Q in
In Star Trek.
Star Trek when
Yeah.
he wiped out the civilization, I think, in a
No, he
fit of pique.
wanted to, didn't he?
No, I
He
think he
wanted to
did, and
wipe
then
out
he showed up.
humans.
No, 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 no. That was the originally, and then in with Picard in one of the worst episodes ever because it was very. It was the beginning of the end of Hollywood, I think. In my personal opinion, this was back in the 90s. I watched this and I thought, you're mad. He presented himself to Captain Picard for judgment. This
That's right.
being,
Yes. Yes.
being presented himself to, in my opinion, human worms for judgment.
Yeah, that wasn't his choice. He was sent there by the collective.
No, it wasn't. He presented himself. It wasn't. There was another time when he was banished by the collective and
Yeah.
he ran for protection. I don't know why you're coming to us now. We can't do anything. You guys are, stronger than we are, more powerful than we are. No, but this
Omnipotent.
particular time, no, he had actually wiped out the blooming civilization
Okay.
and had bad vibes about it. Duh. You can say kill them all, like Tyre often does, but you don't actually go and kill them all, pal. Come on. Crikey, what's your
But some
problem, man?
people don't understand that you're jesting. The thing is, this is the problem. This is where, you know, when you've got influence, words mean something. That's why, even though a lot of the stuff we cover in jest, there's people out there who don't understand that jest. It's the same with people in power. When they say things and they're maybe not meaning it in a certain way, But some people interpret that
Mm,
message in the wrong manner, of which
mm.
it wasn't intended, and subsequently act in a way that shouldn't be the case. But
There's
that's why words matter. It
there's
does.
there's a pub not far from where I live, based on a real life example of that.
Go on.
Thomas Becket.
Really?
Thomas Becket, the Cardinal. Henry VIII's former drinking buddy.
Oh,
They were drinking and they were good pals, and he had to elect a Archbishop of Canterbury or something. This is Henry VIII, King Henry VIII, and we thought, I know what, I'll put my best, my
friend.
BFF, my best friend forever. I'll make him the Archbishop
Archbishop.
of Canterbury, and then I can basically do what I want, and he and I will have a riotous time. Unfortunately, Thomas Becket got religion, and
He
he took
did.
his job. He took his job seriously.
Seriously. Yeah.
And one day, Henry said, "Oh, won't somebody get rid of this horrible priest for me?" And so
Not literally. Yeah.
his knights were like, "Oh, okay." And they jumped on the horses and went off and sent Thomas Becket on his way. And Henry was like,
Mm,
"You what,
yeah.
mate? I
I
was just
didn't mean
joshing
it. I was
through."
just frustrated at him.
Yeah, too late. He was gone.
But didn't he? Sorry, we're digressing here very slightly, but it's an interesting subject. But didn't he? Was it his choice about the wives, the multiple wives, that he was it Thomas à Becket that stopped him or said it wasn't right? I can't remember which way around it was before he left the church in order to have many wives. I can't
I
remember which way
don't
around
think
it
it
was.
was Becket. He had already had his problems. That's why I was able to. That is why he was able to make him Archbishop of Canterbury. He had
Right.
already had problems with
With
the
the
because it would
Catholic
normally be
Church.
typically it would have been the Pope to
Right. Because
to
he
choose.
wanted more wives and the Pope said
He just
no.
wanted kids basically. He wanted an
Right.
heir. So he was.
Wanted
Someone should
different
look into
wives.
whether he and Trump, because they sound very similar characters. You should look into that something. So anyway, Hugh Williams shipwreck survivors. Hugh
Right.
Williams is the name.
Yeah.
Three shipwrecks, centuries apart. The sole survivor each time was a man named Hugh Williams.
What?
3 centuries apart.
Apart. The same name.
Same
How
name.
weird. See, these are really, really weird. You don't get things that you know. I mean, it's a coincidence, but why? Why? Did you? I mean, I've got another one here. Now, this
Hmm.
this this is an interesting one, and you will laugh when I tell you the name. Right? A
Hmm.
man named John Fasulo, no relation, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, was running late for a train in New York. He missed it by mere seconds, so the door shut.
Mm.
And the train he was on, well, the train he was supposed to be on, had a derailment, and many passengers were injured and killed. So he missed that
Oh,
train. A few years later, he's again running late for a different train, and he got to the station just as it was pulling out. So he's missed that too. He found out later that that one also derailed, and many passengers were harmed.
wow.
And so he missed two trains of which he would have been on, and both of them derailed. And he was fortunate he missed it. And his name was John Fasulo. He was no relation to me, but this was in America. How bizarre is that?
Wow.
How bizarre is that? Did I
The
tell you the story of my doppelganger, which shocked me?
No. Well, maybe, but I don't remember. I
You
don't
don't
think you did.
remember?
Otherwise, I'd have remembered.
Okay. Now
I'd
this
remember.
was I was I was very young. I was about 19, 20, and I was working for a company in London who subsequently sent me to the US. And I was in Las Vegas doing an event, and I was the youngest one on this stage. And it was a bit like, for those who are familiar in the UK with the NEC, big, huge place where they do big events,
Events.
huge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I was there on this stage, and I had my name on my badge, and there was thousands of people at this event. And this couple came up to me and said, "Oh, Tony, what are you doing here? We saw your mum and dad."
Hey?
And I'm like, "Sorry?" Hey? I went, no, no, I'm from England. And they're like, oh, sorry, sorry. I thought that was strange, just a mistaken identity. About an hour later, another couple came up. Hey, Tony, what are you doing here? I thought you were at college. I'm like, what? What? What's going on here? I went, no, no, I'm from England. They're like, oh, okay, sorry, sorry. It happened two more times
Wow.
during that day. I'm like, this is crazy. And then towards the end of the day, there was a couple, and I saw them looking at me, and the guy came over and extended his hand. He went, hi. He goes, you must be our son. And I was like, sorry? And he said, don't panic, don't panic. He said, it's just you look like our son.
Ah,
And our son is called Tony
Tony.
Fasulo.
Wow.
I
No
know.
way.
Yeah, absolutely way. And yeah. And what was strange about it was we started chatting and they said, yeah, we own um West Coast Cinemas. It's a chain of cinemas down the west coast of America. So I went, Daddy. We had a bit of a laugh. And he said, you know, anytime you're in the States, come look us up and that. And his son is indeed called Tony Fasulo, but he was at college, but he's now a CEO of a company in Canada. And yeah, he does look like me. He's now also lost his hair, and at the time he had hair. We both look very similar, but we must have been related somehow. We haven't had a DNA test or anything like that, but we must have been related because his parents, who I spoke to, said that their great 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 grandmother was from a grandfather, sorry, was from southern Italy, which is where my
Mm,
original parents and ethnicity, I can't say it.
ethnicity.
Yeah, were from. So we must have had some, you know, some link up in the
Yeah,
past. But
yes.
we've
I was going to ask,
kept
what does Fasulo mean in Italian?
it doesn't really mean anything
It
unless it's
means
slang.
something.
It does, but I'm not going to say it on radio. Unfortunately.
Oh, this I must look up instantly. Ooh, there's nothing. Do you know one thing that is
Oh,
guaranteed to make you start thinking about it
go
is
on.
when somebody says
I'm not telling you.
an unimaginable orgy. Straight away, your mind goes, "Ooh, unimaginable orgy," and then you start trying to imagine, right? And
Indeed.
the other thing is when you say, "Oh, I'm not going to tell you that," you're guaranteed that someone like Ty is just going to go on now and say, what does?
Oh, it doesn't mean anything in Italian.
Oh, really?
No. But Tayo's now going to Google it and just see what it does actually mean.
It's a must. It must happen. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. It's
We're
a
not going to
food.
walk. It's a food. Yes.
Beans.
Yeah. But Italian broad beans.
And I tell him, oh, what the hell? Okay, so beans.
Beans, but not your normal tinned beans. It's broad beans, the big.
Well, you know that from now on, I'm going to be saying things like, okay, old bean, you're finished now. That's it. Use your bean, Tony. Go on. You've had it, pal.
Like
No longer
Mr.
Tony the
Bean.
knife. No longer Tony the knife for sort of Tony the bean. Just leave it like
I don't
that.
mind being
Listen.
Sean Bean. Is the
Yeah,
actor, not
yeah,
Mr. Bean.
yeah. No, no, no worries, Mr. Bean. Don't worry about the Sean Bean. So
Oh
listen,
dear. Go on.
Edgar Allan Poe, in his novel The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, published in 1938, features shipwreck survivors who, starving, kill and eat a cabin boy named
Oh,
Richard Parker.
oh,
So that was, a bit of a dark story, but Edgar Allan Poe's kind of thing was dark stories.
yep.
46 years later, in 1884, a real shipwreck stranded four men, and they killed and ate the cabin boy.
Oh, what?
And his name,
Don't tell me.
Richard Parker.
No way.
Yep,
That's nuts. I mean, sure that's not a repeat story. That's a definite occurrence.
the definite occurrence.
How bizarre. See, that's like a a premonition of the future. And I mean, that's what deja vu is supposed to be, isn't it? You sort of think, have I been here before? Let me give you a scientific answer. What the scientific community think deja vu is. They think it's actually a quirk of the way our brain processes memory. And it's there's a delay. Apparently, there's a delay, a brief delay that can sometimes happen how we process the information. So an event is perceived, and then just a fraction of a second later, the brain reassesses the same information, but this time it's stored somewhere else in the memory.
Mm,
And the result is confusion because you've got the
mm.
exact. Hang on, it's in two places. Have I been here
Yeah,
before?
yeah, yeah. Makes a lot of
So,
sense, actually. I think that
so
actually explains it. I'm happy.
yeah. So it's like a memory mismatch. So
Mm.
rather than it actually happening, you've just seen it twice. So it's actually a glitch in the way that the memory is stored, which can
I,
happen.
I
It's
I like it because it explains why. Because I've been trying to train myself over years. I tried to anticipate what happens next. Okay, here's my deja vu. What happened next the last time? It doesn't, and I've never got it.
no, no,
So it makes sense as a genuine memory in a different location,
yeah,
and it's not predictive.
yeah,
It's maybe just over microseconds or something.
yeah, it is, yeah. Because
Yeah.
strangely enough, your the way your I mean, we're getting to the top of the hour, so we need to sum up very soon. But the way your brain actually stores stuff with neurons, it it actually creates pathways when you're learning something new. So it creates those, but it doesn't put them all in the same place. It splits them like a tree branch. So you have a few spread about, but certain things, like for instance, tunes, are stored simultaneously in two areas of the brain, both hemispheres of the brain. And it's very unusual, and the science community don't know why it does that with music. So that's why you can recall music and lyrics from years ago, and you may not have
Mm.
even heard the song because it's recalling it from two different places and amalgamates it and go, oh yeah, makes the memory really strong. Whereas when you're storing data, it tends to be in one hemisphere or the other, where the memory part is. And when it does it, when it's trying to recall it, sometimes it doesn't recall it all back. And
Mm.
so you get flaky memory and you don't recall it quite right, especially over a period of time. So it's a fascinating area. And also we throw in the mix of neuroplasticity. Have you heard about that? Where
Mm.
you can reform memories, you can reform brain functions. The brain is not static. The brain is a
I
machine
believe
that
that
keeps changing.
I believe there should be scholarship, really heavily invested scholarship to look at that neuroplasticity in the case of women. Because when they accuse people of things, I believe that in their minds, they think they're telling the truth. I really believe that. And I believe it's so dangerous that historically our forefathers knew that. And that is why in Islamic countries, it takes two women to make equivalent of one man's witness in court. And I believe that they have reprogrammed their brains to believe that, yeah, this really happened.
It's
It
not
really
just a
means
women
something.
thing. That's actually, did you know that witnesses are the most unreliable of people? And
Sorry, what other people are there?
witnesses, no,
Yeah,
but
what other
witnesses are,
people?
no, because you can get objective evidence from other things like
Okay,
physical
so your
evidence
construction
or,
was bad because it
sorry,
confused
yeah,
me.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
was,
witnesses are the weakest link in evidence
oh,
gathering.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because the physical evidence is far more profound, it's more objective, whereas people giving their testimony of what they've seen, always flaky, don't get it right,
I think
interpret
the
it in
problem
different
is
ways.
most people try to be too helpful. They want to help so badly that if they don't know something, they offer what they think would fit.
That is true. That
But
is true.
instead of just, well, I don't remember what color the car was.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Step down. They feel,
Yes.
ooh, I could have helped a little bit if only I said it was gray, for example.
But I
Anyway,
think it's not that. I think it's mistaken. But we're going to have to really wrap up here. So if you're going to be quick on this one, because we have to do a
Anthony
sum up.
Hopkins was looking for a rare novel, The Girl from Petrovka, for a film role. He couldn't find it anywhere. However, one day he found a copy on a park bench in London. Later yet, he met the author who said, "Oh, I lent that copy to my friend with handwritten notes, but he lost it on a park bench in London."
How
And that's
bizarre.
from the Telegraph 2011. Okay,
Wow,
that's
wow,
me.
wow. Okay, wonderful. Just very sum up. What do you think then? Is this something? Is this proving anything in our coincidences here?
Not proof of
No.
anything, but I think it's giant. I think these are giant signs that it's not a straightforward world. It's not by any means a materialistic world, as the materialist worldview would have you believe. Um, you yourself, well, I just believe that there's more to this world, and I'm kind of leaning towards this your soul thing because your one soul idea is pretty good because it kind of neatly explains a lot of things. If you go down that route, which is what science is meant to do, it starts predicting things, right? You
Yeah.
can predict a lot of the things that we see and we call weird. And from that point of view, they're not weird, they're just something that you can predict. So maybe
Mm.
one day I'll sit down and actually think about it and write it up and we'll see where we are.
Okay. Brilliant. If you've loved this episode, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives into prophecies, mysteries, and the unexplained twists of fate. You've listened to Tony and Tyre, and we are the TNT Talk Show, but unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show for another week.